All right, my name is Jason Ackerman. I'm guest hosting this week's episode of The Soapbox with the man, the myth, the legend, Austin Malleolo. Thanks for having me on.
Oh heck yeah, I'm fired up to have the OG Jason Ackerman back in the house.
You and I go back a very long time, over 10 years now. Hard to believe, A, we're both still alive, but that we're both still doing CrossFit and moderately successful at that.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it depends on your definition of success, but CrossFit hasn't killed us yet. You have cut your hair, so yeah. There's times are looking up.
Yeah, funny enough, we have the same haircut.
Yeah, we do. Essentially, you've gone full circle.
How is it that you're 10 years younger but significantly grayer than I am?
That is the new thing I've noticed. I do seminars now, and people that I've seen, maybe 5 years prior at a seminar will come up to me and say, "Oh, looking pretty gray there, brother." I mean, I just say thank you. But yeah, I have been getting that the deluge of, I guess, compliments, for lack of a better way to put it, recently. It's experience. It's just for men, a touch of gray.
So you're adding the gray in.
Yeah, I'm just adding the gray in.
You pull it off well. I don't think it ages you. If anything, it makes you look more distinguished, and it gives you this air of superiority that you already had, but it really magnifies it.
Oh gosh, that's petrifying.
So you said something interesting though. You said, we both kind of pretended that we're successful, and I'm going to tell you something. You and I worked out together this past weekend. We were at a level 1 in Cape Coral.
Yep.
So if you've never been to Cape Coral, no need to go. No need to go there. But, we were at a great box. It was hot. We were sweaty. We did 2 workouts together. You're one of my favorite people to work out with. And I was telling Roz, we were getting ready for day 2. We were getting ready to work out. You put it down on the board, 15-minute AMRAP, 500-meter skier, 10 strict handstand push-ups,
yeah,
10 box step-overs.
Yeah.
I think about the workout. I think, okay, I'm going to scale appropriately. I'm going to grab myself some 35s. 3, 2, 1, go. Finish my skier. Get to the box after the strict handstand push-ups. My 35s have vanished. And in their place, I see 2 44-pound kettlebells. Now, I was trying to scale. I was trying to maintain the intended stimulus, but then you said something profound to me after that's resonated, and I'd like to talk a little bit about it. I've been doing CrossFit nearly 12, 13 years, and I'm sure you have some listeners that do or have been doing CrossFit for that long.
Yeah.
And we get complacent.
Yeah.
Is that a problem? Like, is there anything wrong with me for just wanting to go through the motions a little bit?
Yeah, gosh, this notion that complacency breeds mediocrity. And so, I think there's a few things about that. One, I'm always going to push and lean on people like you that I know can handle it more than others. So, I think that's not everyone is ready for that level of honesty or truth. And you've always been able to handle that. So I think that's the first step, I wouldn't just walk into like a 10-year affiliate owner's gym and say something like that, because quite honestly, their ego probably couldn't take it. And because most of the time, most people aren't honest with people, that are veteran. And what happens is like, all right, well, look at yourself. You've been doing CrossFit for 12 years plus, right? Like, I mean, and like I was telling you, because you said something to me, which it's a death knell for most. Like, well, like, I can do everything. There's nothing, and you're right. Like, you are high skilled from when it comes to, how old are you?
I'm 41.
You're 41. And so, like, compared to most 41-year-olds, yes, you're in the 99.9 percentile of fitness, right? Like, there's not many 41-year-olds that are as fit as you. And then there's even less 41-year-olds that can actually do what you can do from a skill perspective. There's not a movement that you don't have. What holds you back is loading and fitness, right? And albeit cool, I think it's bullshit that people can rest on that. Be like, oh, like, well, I can do everything. And what happens is it makes you lazy. And what I mean by that is you're just going to go through a workout and get a workout, as opposed to go through a workout and get destroyed, get smashed, and not in a bad way, right? Not in a way that's like, you're not going to move poorly. You're not going to put your body in a position that could compromise your safety or health, but like, you need to hurt. Remember, adaptations happens at the margins of where you've gone. And it's easy for someone like yourself that has been doing this for 12 years to coast, get a good workout at moderate intensity, but feel like you went really hard because you can trick yourself, right? And I was talking to my buddy Connor tonight, literally like a few minutes ago, about it was about, how CrossFit's so mental. Like, on your last round, like, you're like, oh, I'm so exhausted. Like, it's so difficult. And yet, what if I said it was 11 rounds? What if I said it was 8 rounds instead of 10 rounds? What if and if you physically can do it, then why does that last round get harder? Because you convince yourself it's time. You convince yourself the workout's over, and it's a mental trap. And that's why I love to tell people, hey, I'll lie to them. Be like, the workout's 10 rounds. Nope, 12 rounds. It's, we're going to do another round, because you can always do a little more. So I think that's something that for you, I wanted, like, you're like, well, it's going to be too hard. Well, yeah, good. Like, you're not going to get less fit from using heavier dumbbell step-ups, because you're like me. You're 4'11", and you're weak. You're just like me. So a dumbbell box step up is your hardest movement. So, I cannot handle 5-10-year CrossFit coaches, affiliate owners that are out of shape.
Okay, but you've already said I'm not out of shape.
No,
so
no, by far, you're not out of shape, but it's that mindset that can creep in and become a lifestyle. Now, you are humble enough, and you're one of the most the humble and lack of ego human I've ever met. And honestly, I speak about you all the time about that, where like, you're 41 years old. You have accomplished more in the world of CrossFit than most anyone I've ever met from a gym owner perspective, a coach perspective. Yet I can smash your soul into the ground and about that. And you're like, okay, cool. And thus, obviously your fitness, is good. But there was a time where you were a little lazy.
I was chubby. You're being nice. I was chubby. I think every box owner hits that point where the business overtakes, and I think that is an excuse. But
Right.
Yeah, I was in that zone.
And that's the thing. It's like when I see affiliate owners, I'm like, gosh, like, I just don't buy it. And listen, I understand how to run a business. I understand how to work hard. And here's why, like, I just don't buy it, because I see people that are busier and more important than anyone that you'll ever meet every day of my life. And it's not a knock. It's just like, I see people that run multi-billion-dollar companies, and they work out every day. They eat well. You're running a CrossFit gym. If you're a gym owner, it's okay, cool, right? If you're running $1 million CrossFit gym, you're a baller. So therefore, you're probably not, because most gyms don't gross $1 million, right? So it's just, come on, like, I see that you got to set the tone, and it just really, and it does, like, I do take it personally when I see CrossFit coaches that don't follow the program. They don't execute variance, functionality, intensity, and prescribe to the nutritional program some variation of meats and vegetables, nuts and seeds, some fruit, little starch, and no sugar. It's simple, because I look at you, I look at guys like Paul Tremblay, that's got like 400 kids. He owns a gym, and you just wake up early, you stay up later, and you work out. So, it all stems into that notion of, you gotta, like, when I wrote that workout, Jason, I wrote that because I hate dumbbell step overs, and I'm not good at skiing. I write workouts that I hate. I do them because I'm pretty sure at the level 1, we talk about the importance of doing things you're not good at. And I try to truly live that ethos all of the time. I did dumbbell step overs in my garage 2 hours ago.
So
like
3 days later, you're right back at it. But
oh yeah, of course.
Where is the line of acceptability? So where is the line of, hey, this dude is still training. He's 41 years old. So he wants to scale dumbbell step overs. Is
Uh,
it because you're then worried I'm going to scale everything? Or do
so
you
my
really
question is, why
think?
are you scaling?
So my intent of scaling that workout, I looked at you and I thought to myself, Austin's going to probably get this. I was wrong. You actually did more than I thought you would get. So my goal was, okay, I want to try to keep up with Austin. So, going back to the CrossFit ethos, preserve the intended stimulus. The intended
Right.
stimulus of those step overs was not to do one rep maxes 10 times.
Right. And so, and which is good, but no, so here in therein lies, you know, the difficulty of when you understand scaling just enough just to be dangerous, right? So like, like, and what I, and so I think when it comes to that is it's easy to, because here's, one end of the spectrum is, the argument is, well, you're not going to get less fit from moving faster. You're right. But there's also like, there's some things like grunt work that, are you been doing CrossFit for 10 years? You don't get to scale a step over playa because
And you're right.
it's not a squat snatch.
Yeah.
Like, and so, and maybe, like, and that's my style where, and I get it. Listen, I understand the stimulus, and you were probably right. If you wanted to move a little faster, we probably should have cut down your ski since you were rowing a 2.7, like almost 4 minutes for 500, but we won't talk about that.
It was a 215. I got short arms. I'm 4'11.
Yes, but I'm a fan of, like, at some point,
Man,
you just got to do the work, and you got to be in a world of pain, because if you're going to get better, sometimes you got to do worse before you actually do better.
and I'm sitting here because you are calling me out, and you're right. Like, there was no need to scale that. It wasn't a 225 snatch that I legit just can't do. It was, am I willing to suffer and hurt during those step overs?
And you did it, and obviously you kind of called yourself out, but you did it, and you were fine. And that's the thing, like, it's the same thing when you have someone that has been doing CrossFit for 10 years and they're educated in the methodology and the prescriptions that work. And, why aren't they a model of what we want to see? And what I mean by that is, I have coaches that all the coaches I coach with, they have their own challenges with fitness, with nutrition. But what's amazing is that they've never given up or made excuses, and I think that's really what it comes down to, is that, like, oh, I've had some kids, so I've let my diet go. Like, I haven't heard that from the people I surround myself with. Like, oh, like, there are always extenuating circumstances, but I don't find it acceptable if you're going to lead the charge. I'm okay with struggles. I'm okay with people, faltering, but I'm not okay with accepting it and letting it fester for two reasons. One, you've created a network of people that do not challenge you. Or you've completely isolated yourself and you're alone. Because here's the deal, like, if I'm around you, Jason, and I see you starting to, your nutritional regimen goes in the toilet, I'm not going to stand for that. I'm not going to allow that. I just will not let you do it. Right. And obviously a small microcosm of that is, I'm not going to let you scale those step overs every single time we do step overs. Right. But, and you're humble enough to take it, therefore you where you are. But, like, imagine if that never happened, you would at some point regress, because that's the way life works. And I think that's also, and I did a podcast earlier of, like, accepting feedback, where you have to surround yourself with a group of people that allow you, that challenge you, that push you, that tell you things you don't want to hear, that make you uncomfortable, that will be honest with you, because you will be your worst enemy at some point in time. And that's where I think that, that's why I love CrossFit, is because of the honesty, right? Where, like, you'll do a workout, you'll get destroyed, and, like, all right, well, you can't hide from that. It's a weakness, like, you're going to learn. Oh, a skill comes up that you can't do. You have to get better. Life's no different. but it's easy as an adult to run from those things, right? And ironically enough, the more responsibility you get, the more successful you get, the easier it is to become a worse of a human being.
Yeah, you surround yourself with yes people, or you just don't have those people. Now you're, in Boston, you're surrounded by the Connor Murphys, the Hobarts, so Denise Thomas, so many amazing, not just coaches, but also really good athletes. Not everyone has that luxury. What can they do? The old adage of you are the people you surround yourself with, the 5 people.
Yeah.
Well, you happen to surround yourself with some of the most talented and amazing people in the world. Someone living in, Cape Coral, Florida might not have that. So what can they do to achieve that?
It's funny because I've been fortunate to be around, athletic people and fit people, but I'll use Denise Thomas as an example. Denise Thomas is 78 years old, and, I've trained with Denise for 10 years. She is turning 40, and which is amazing if you know Denise. And, like when I train with Denise, it's like today I train with Denise, and we go for it. And there's always a level of competition, whether it's I'm trying to beat her or I'm trying to lap her, whatever it is, but it's a mindset thing. And because when she works out, she goes to the same dark place that I do. No different than with, GC, another coach at my gym. No different with Connor, with James, with Spencer, whomever I've trained with and worked with. And I've also seen people I've worked with come in as good athletes. They can move well, they have capacity, and get so much better because that's how we train. We train with intensity, we train with intent, and we move well. I literally see it. Like I see it at all my One Nation gyms. Like I see kids I'm like that are now working for us full time or part time that are like crushing workouts. They were fit, but now they're really good. So the notion you just need, I see people, and this, it's like anyone can get really fit and really strong. Just look at it. You go to gyms now, it's amazing, right? Like you're like, wow, these people, but what's the caveat? Intensity. Like you come to Reebok CrossFit One, we have no competitors out of our 400 members, but our base level of fitness is higher than most gyms you'll ever go to. 90% of our gym can climb ropes and do strict pull-ups. And
what can someone do though to mimic that?
You just need to have an environment. It's not the actual, like what are your times, loads, whatever it is. It's how you work out. It's the environment. You have to chase intensity. You need to hurt. You need to go to a place that is so uncomfortable every time you work out that you question your existence as a human being. And if you do that day in and day out, you will seek adaptations that you will never imagine, because that's how we get better. I see people work out for hours at moderate intensity, and man, they are just useless, wasting their time. You got to find people that inspire you, that drive you, that push you.
Why does it make you so angry though, if someone's just content where they are? Like we've said, I'm 41. I'll never need to be fitter. I'm fitter than 99. I know you compare yourself to these other CrossFitters, but in the whole world, I'm a really, really fit 41-year-old. Why do you care that not everyone is willing to push that hard?
It's a really good question. Why do I care? Because I hold you as a coach, as a leader, to a higher standard than a member. I do. And because honestly, like when I see members going at it, just and going through the motions, I'm like, word, you're here. So that mindset that you just explained, I overlay to my members, and I love and respect that. But if you're going to set the tone, I think you got to set the tone forever. And listen, it's different. Like my dad's 63 years old. Again, intensity is relative, right? So don't, it's a relative thing. But I also, and so when I know someone, I can, where I push them or pull them back. But I do hold coaches, owners, leaders to a higher standard. I expect you to hold me to a higher standard as well. But what you just explained is my expectation of my members. And I'll never be upset for someone saying, I don't want to do handstand push-ups today. Why not? I just don't want to. Okay, cool. Right? I'm okay with that if my members say that to me. I'm not going to force them. I'll say, all right, we'll do some standing dumbbell strict press. I'm going to get pretty damn fit doing that. And so there is that. But, but part of me is also like, I don't think I'm perfect, and all of my, my views are relatively intense, and that's just who I am. But that's also who I surround myself with. Like, I think part of that is who I am. I don't expect or want everyone to like it, but if you're around me and I'm around you, I want you to give me everything you got, and I'm going to give you everything I got. If you say, Austin, it's midnight, let's work out. Okay. Austin, let's do this. Okay. Like I'm going to ride or die. Like that's just how I'm going to roll. But I expect you to give the same to me. So
Yeah,
that's just, it's that mutual respect. And I'm a passionate dude. I get fired up and that's who I'm going to surround myself with, where I'm not going to surround myself with mediocrity. You know what? But I'm also not going to settle for it. If you're like, well, I just want to be mediocre. But if I care about you, I'm going to say that's bullshit. I'm not going to let you do that. I'm going to have you fight me before you settle. If I think it's BS.
Well, you don't want to fight me. I'm a no-gi world champion.
You are no-gi, yeah, I know, but
And unless anyone think Austin's just pushing people to injure, like you said, intensity is relative.
Right.
Not only was that within you probably could have handed me 55s, and in fairness, the day before we did some heavy back squats, my hip was bothering me. You didn't give me too much grief about scaling that weight. So I don't want people to leave here thinking
you back squatted what, like 185?
Yes.
I remember when you would low bar back squat like old Ripito at like 405 with that bar in your mid spine. So
that was just a hip injury, but I was happy to still squat. So I don't want people leaving thinking, if they're taking this advice from me, that it's just hammer people for no reason or without any education behind it. You knew me, you knew the scenario, you knew the workout.
Yeah, but we can put it this way: like we have an intern at our gym, Ruben. Love the kid, hardest working dude I've ever met. I love him, and he trains with us. But like he'll scale it or tweak the workout or change it depending on where we're at. But like here's what I think is a good example, because he'll know his thresholds and we'll know his thresholds. But like, so we were doing like heavy push press or something. And it was like sets of 5, and he's like, I'm gonna do double. And I was like, I love Lee, and it doesn't have to be super high stress, and you just hang. And when I've trained some of the fittest people in the world, and they're doing, like, for example, snatch, right? My wrists are broken, snapped off from training for 10 years. So like when people are snatching super heavy, I might have to tweak it or change it. They're full snatching, I might power snatch, or if they're overhead squatting, I might front squat. So, and it's funny, like, because when you're in that environment, no one cares. Like no one's going to be like when you're like, I got to scale this because of my back, my hip. I'm like, all right, like cool. Like do what you need to do, put you where you need to be, where like I just remember I was down training with Rich a couple months ago, and they were doing overhead squats at 185. I did the first round of overhead squats. I was like, all right, my wrists I'm going to look like Deadpool after he punched that big iron guy. Right. So so I just went to front squats, and no one minds. And I'm going to go as hard as I can in that. So in that respect, there's always a mutual respect for where you are, your thresholds are. But what is undeniably expected is for you to give everything you have, but be smart. No one likes an idiot. People like individuals that give it all they have. But as soon as you become a liability, you're a liability. So it's like no one wants to be like, oh, come on, man, you're pulling that bar off the ground with a fully rounded back. Like, I can't be associated with that crap. So that's one thing. Like we don't allow poor movement for intensity, and that's important. We expect good quality movement.
Yeah, it sounds like you're saying you got to bring it, and if you're bringing it, we're going to be okay with it. And if you're listening to this episode and you want to surround yourself with those people, chances are you have to be the one that brings it to begin with. Yeah.
I mean, how am I going to ask my people to do anything if I'm not going to do it? Like, I'll tell you what, tonight, we'll wrap this up because I know I could talk forever, and I'm sitting on the couch. Haley's eating dinner. It's 5 o'clock-ish. I'm falling asleep. I'm exhausted from this today. I'm like, and Maren looks at me. This is Maren. She goes, "You gonna go train?" I'm like, "Yeah." She goes, "Well, get outside. You told me when you don't want to do it, just start." Like, and that's it. Like, you have to surround yourself with people like that. Like my wife, like I said that to my wife an hour and a half earlier when I'm watching Hales, and she's like, "Oh, I'm not in the mood to train." I'm like, "Well, just start. Just start. It'll be over." Now I'm inside, dozing off while my Moana's playing in the background, and she's like, "Get outside." And, all right, well, I get outside and I just, I hit my workouts, and then, in time to, give Haley a bath and go to bed. And here I am. So, and I feel so much better. But what you have to imagine, if I was like, "Oh no, like I already worked out once this morning, I'm good." It's such a loser attitude, but it's going to creep in. Like for people, I think, like those that always creeps in, but you need others around you to also pull you into where you need to be, because you've done that for them. Or you can't be a motivator without being motivated. And I think that's important.
I think that's a great place to end it. Get out there tomorrow, if you're listening to this episode, and just think what you can do to not only motivate yourself, but to motivate others. It doesn't have to be, like Austin said, overhead squatting 185. Sometimes that motivator is just your wife on the couch telling you to stop being a lazy turd and get out to the gym. She wasn't out there with you, but she motivated you because she knows, like you did with me, you want to hold us to a higher standard, and you have to hold yourself to that standard. I will never grab 35s ever again on box step overs. And I tell you, I got home, being around Austin Malleolo for 2 days. I was up at 4:30 the next morning. I was grinding. I texted you that night. I said, my eyes are bleeding. I can't look at my screen anymore. And that was it. So I appreciate it. I hope the listeners take from that, it's not only about just being someone that pushes other people, but it's about pushing yourself first.
Love it.